want to help you get behind sometimes what we do to understand why we do it. Because there's something behind the fig leaves. When Adam and Eve sinned and they sew these fig leaves together and start hiding from God, and God says, where are you? God goes looking for them. What do they say? We were ashamed. That was it. It was their shame that caused them to hide. Their external behavior was motivated by a deeper internal issue. And that's the same thing with us. Often we just do stuff because we're hiding, but we never wrestle with, well, why are we really hiding in the first place? This is why it's not enough to just understand that our fleshy tendency is to sin. We've got to get behind the sins, plural, and understand, okay, where is this main point of brokenness? This is why the Enneagram is such a powerful tool. Now, if you are in the marketplace like many of you are, depending on your career, you may have heard of the Enneagram because over the last few years it's been gaining momentum. And in the marketplace, in the world, they think that this is just the new personality kind of test, like the Myers-Briggs or the DISC. A lot of corporations will use it, and people are like, oh, just want to understand your coworkers. I want you to be able to understand how to, work together. But what they don't understand is that the Enneagram actually has a biblical foundation. The Enneagram is actually an ancient way of getting behind the sins to the sin. The Enneagram, Ennea means 9, is based on this understanding that from the fall of Adam and Eve in Genesis, there are 9 areas of brokenness, 9 core ways that we have a tendency to hide, or 9 core ways that actually motivate the way that we put on fig leaves and cover up in a variety of ways. But he says it comes down to 9. And so I hope you did it. I hope you did the Enneagram, and if you didn't do it, I'm going to share some things with you, and maybe you go home and do it. But the whole point of this is that God cannot heal what you conceal. And what we've got to be able to do as people of God is we've got to be able to be honest and say, God, here it is, to stretch out that hand. So let me show it to you really quickly. Anybody do the Enneagram when you came in the building? Anybody do it? All right, I got some hands going up. Amen. Amen. Got some 1s and some 2s and some 3s and 4s and 5s. And 6s and 7s, somebody's like, yep, that's me. Let me explain this to you. Number 1 is called a reformer. And they're going to put some stuff up on the screen. I want you to follow with me. 1s are conscientious and ethical with a strong sense of right and wrong. They're teachers, crusaders, advocates for change, always striving to improve things but afraid of making a mistake. They're well organized, orderly, fastidious. They try to maintain high standards but can slip into being critical and perfectionistic. They typically have problems with resentment and impatience. See, the reformer, because they're so idealistic, they don't deal well with people that fall below their ideal. So resentment sets in. At their best, they're wise, discerning, realistic, and noble. They can be morally heroic. Their basic fear, though, is of being corrupt and evil and defective. Their basic desire or drive is to be good, to have integrity, and to be balanced. That's why their key motivation is they want to be right. They want to strive higher and improve everything, to be consistent with their ideals, to justify themselves. Here's a big one, to be beyond criticism so as to not be condemned by anyone. But here's the core sin, is self-righteousness, the need for perfection. 1s need to be perfect. And they want everything else to be perfect too. But of course, nothing is ever just as we want it to be. So the world and people are constantly failing to meet the high expectations of 1s. You talk to a 1, nobody is able to do anything right but them. Come on. I can't believe. Really? I just had to move on because, they're trifling. Boo, they made one mistake and they're trifling? Number 2 is the helper. If you may not be able to say amen right here. This may be like, ooh, ah, aha. 2s are the helper. 2s are empathetic, sincere, warm-hearted. They are friendly, generous, self-sacrificing, but can also be sentimental, flattering, and people-pleasing. They are well-meaning and driven to be close to others, but can slip into doing things for others, watch this, in order to be needed. They typically have problems with possessiveness and with acknowledging their own need. Now, at their best, unselfish and altruistic. They've got unconditional love for others. Now, they have a basic fear of being unwanted, unworthy of being loved. Their basic desire is to feel loved. They want to be loved. That's their key motivation. They want to be loved, to express their feelings for others, to be needed and appreciated. They're like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. To be loved. To be loved. Oh, what a feeling. Right. They want to be loved. They want others to respond to them and to vindicate their claims about themselves, right? Because they want others to know that they are okay. But here's their core sin. It's pride. The need to be needed. Twos love you to love them. Need you to need them. Want you to want them. Hey, you see me? How you? I'm here. You need me? Just want you to know I'm here. Hey, I got your back. Did you call me? I'm sorry. I thought you called me. Dr. Brenner, a great theologian and psychologist, writes that they tend to be pretty good at making people need them, and their competence in making this happen sets them up for pride. Any threes in the house? Threes are self-assured, attractive and charming, ambitious, competent, and energetic. They can also be status conscious and highly driven for advancement. They are diplomatic and poised, but can also be overly concerned with their image and what others think of them. They typically have problems with workaholism and competitiveness. At their best, self-accepting and authentic, everything they seem to be role models who inspire others, but they have a basic fear of being worthless. Have a basic desire, a basic drive to feel valuable and worthwhile. So they want to be affirmed. That's a big one. Threes, they want to distinguish themselves from others, to have attention, to be admired, to impress others. Hey, you see me? Hey, I'm here. Hey, just wanted you to know, did you see what I did? Hey, I just wanted you to know, if nobody ever told you it was me that did that report, it was me that told them to tell you, yeah, did you see that new presentation? That was me. They need to be affirmed. They need to be affirmed. This is why their core sin is deception. They need to succeed. They need to be affirmed. Threes are strivers and are willing to do anything and everything in order to succeed. And by succeed, it's not just about getting to a certain status. It's about affirmation. That's how success is defined in their life. They saw me. They think the world of me. They acknowledge me. That's success for a three. Their core temptation is deception because they're so driven to avoid failure that they're willing to do things that they even shouldn't do just to be affirmed. Somebody said, yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 4 is the individualist. 4s are self-aware, sensitive, and reserved. 4s are emotionally honest and creative and personal, but can also be moody and self-conscious, withholding themselves from others due to feeling vulnerable and defective. They can also feel disdainful and exempt from ordinary ways of living. They typically have problems with melancholy, self-indulgence, self-pity. Woe is me, I can never get anything right, I can't believe. At their best, they're inspired and highly creative. They're able to renew themselves and transform their experiences. Their basic fear is that they have no personal identity or significance. Well, I understand what the team is supposed to do, but what about me? What's my role? What's my play? Well, no, we're doing this together. I know, but I need to know what my role is in it because it's about personal identity and personal significance. 4s are the kind of individuals you can speak to the whole team. Hey, good morning, guys. How are you? And they be upset because you did not speak to them individually. Oh, so you just going to walk by me like that and not say nothing? You in a group of 25 people, ma'am. Their basic desire is to find themselves and their significance, to create an identity. Their key motivation is they want to express themselves and their individuality, to create and surround themselves with beauty, to maintain certain moods and feelings. But then sometimes they withdraw to protect their self-image, to take care of their emotional needs before attending to anything else. Well, could you come and help us? I'm sorry, I just need to take a personal day. I need to just focus on me. Core sin, envy, and fantasy. The need to be special. Fours really want to be acknowledged as special, a little better, a little different, a little more extra than everyone else. This sets them up for the sin of envy, plus a tendency to fantasize and therefore remove themselves from everyday reality. What are you doing? Oh, it's just dreaming about how it could be. Or sometimes daydreaming about what used to be. Number 5 is the investigator. 5s are alert, insightful, and curious. They are able to concentrate and focus on developing complex ideas and skills, independent, innovative, and inventive. They can also become preoccupied with their thoughts and imaginary constructs. They become detached, yet high-strung and intense, and they typically have problems with eccentricity, nihilism, and isolation. At their best, visionary pioneers, often ahead of their time, able to see the world in an entirely new way. Their basic fear is being useless, helpless, or incapable. Their basic desire to be capable and competent. I want you to know I can do that. Have you seen my resume? I want you to know, yeah, I did this. So let me tell you about what I used to do and what I'm able to do. Oh, when I was on that job, everybody loved me because I was able to do X, Y, and Z. They want to possess knowledge, to understand the environment, to have everything figured out as a way of defending the self from threats of the environment. But here's the thing. The core sin is greed. See, a lot of times we think greed is just about money. No, greed is also the need to know when you need to know it the way you want to know it. It's this need to know. 5s have no patience for dissatisfaction and waiting and uncertainty. They need knowledge and fulfillment, and they need it yesterday. It's hard to preach to 5s about living a life by faith. You start talking about Abraham. So wait a minute, let me get this right. Abraham, you going to go where? And you don't know where you're going? And you don't know how long it's going to take you to get there? Oh, no, God, I'm sorry. I don't roll like that. I need GPS turn-by-turn directions. I need you to tell me the destination. And then when you tell me, I will decide if that's where I want to go. And number 6 is the loyalist. If you're a 6, they're committed, security-oriented type. 6s are reliable, hardworking, responsible, and trustworthy. Excellent troubleshooters. They foresee problems and foster cooperation, but can also become defensive and evasive and anxious, running on stress while complaining about it. Oh, I'm so tired. Pray my strength in the Lord. I got to go on and finish this. No, boo, go sit down somewhere. They can be cautious and indecisive. They also can be reactive, defiant, and rebellious, and they typically have problems with self-doubt and suspicion. At their best, internally stable and self-reliant, courageously championing themselves and others. Their basic fear is of not having support and guidance. Their basic desire is to have security and support. Their key motivation is they want to have security. They want to feel supported by others, to have certitude and reassurance, and to test the attitudes of others towards them. They don't like anxiety. They don't like insecurity. So their basic core sin is cowardice. Because they need to feel secure to such a degree that sometimes they won't even tell the truth because the truth will rock the potential of security. They won't be honest. They won't stand up for what's right because if they stand up for what's right, this idea of losing security it's a non-starter for them. And so once again, what I'm showing you is I'm showing you the stuff that we so easily conceal that drives so much of what we do in the ways we try to hide. Number 7, I'll give you a few more and then we'll close, is the enthusiast. 7s are extroverted, optimistic, versatile, and spontaneous, playful, high-spirited, practical, but they can also misapply their many talents, becoming overextended, scattered, and undisciplined. They constantly seek new and exciting experiences, but can become distracted and exhausted by staying on the go. 7s have a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. They typically have problems with impatience and impulsiveness. At their best, they focus their talents on worthwhile goals, becoming appreciative, joyous, and satisfied. Their basic fear is of being deprived. I'm going to miss something. And being in pain. A lot of times they run from things to things, jump from relationship to relationship, job to job, situation to situation, friendship to friendship, profile to profile, because they don't want to deal with the pain. They don't want to pick up anything heavy. They don't want to deal with anything hard. They want to maintain their freedom and their happiness. They want to avoid missing out on worthwhile experiences. They want to keep themselves excited and occupied, but they want to avoid and discharge pain. Ooh, this is going to be hard. Let me go over here and do something easy. Their core sin, though, is gluttony. We think that gluttony is just about eating too much, but it is also about feeding what you like too much. Filling your life. See, it's interesting that God actually works more in our lives often in the difficult seasons and not just in the feel-good seasons. But sevens will struggle with that because what they want the most of is the feel-good seasons. They don't want the difficulty. They don't want those seasons where God is pruning. You got to throw out John 15 if you're a 7. When Jesus says that those that are bearing fruit, he's going to prune them, cut away so that they can bear more fruit, much fruit, and all. No, that's not good for 7s. They need to be sated at all times. This makes them prone to gluttony. The next one is 8, the challenger. 8s are self-confident, strong, assertive, protective, resourceful, straight-talking, and decisive, but can also be egocentric and domineering. 8s feel they must control their environment, especially people, sometimes becoming confrontational and intimidating. 8s typically have problems with their tempers and with allowing themselves to be vulnerable. No, you're not going to be vulnerable as an 8. No. I will never let anybody get close to me like that again. Right? At their best, self-mastering, they use their strength to improve others' lives, becoming heroic, magnanimous, and inspiring. Their basic fear is of being harmed and controlled by other people. Because more often than not, for an 8, there was a time in their past that they were harmed or controlled by somebody else. And so then they go to the other extreme and say, I will never allow that to happen to me. Their basic desire is to protect themselves, to be in control of their own life, their own destiny. That's an 8. Key motivation, want to be self-reliant, to prove their strengths and resist weakness, to be important to the world, to dominate the environment, and to stay in control at all times of their situation. But their core sin is lust and arrogance. Yeah, it's the need for power. Because that's in essence what you're saying, I want to be in control. 8s want it all, so to speak. They need to feel in control of everything all the time. Their core temptation is lust when they don't have something. Oh, I see that car. I want that. God, why'd you give it to her? I can't believe she got that. I want that. That's lust when they don't have something, matched by arrogance when they do. Then they do get it. Oh, you see it? You see it, don't you? You need a ride? I'm going to get some lunch. You want to ride with me? Just so you can get in the car and say, ooh, this is nice. Then they say, oh, this whole thing, yeah, ain't nothing. The last one is number 9. 9s are peacemakers. 9s are accepting, trusting, and stable. They're usually creative, optimistic, and supportive, but can also be too willing to go along with others to keep the peace. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? Well, I like it. Oh, yeah, me too. They want everything to go smoothly and be without conflict, but they can also tend to be complacent, simplifying problems and minimizing anything upsetting. They typically have problems with inertia and stubbornness. At their best, indomitable and all-embracing. They are able to bring people together and heal conflicts. But here's the thing. Their basic fear is of loss and separation. Their basic desire is, we need stability. Don't ruffle any feathers. Don't rock the boat. Why? Because they want to create harmony in their environment. They want to avoid conflicts and tension at all costs. They want to preserve things as they are. But here's the problem. You will never grow this way. You will never grow trying to maintain stability. Just keep things the way they are. Now, sometimes God wants to upset your equilibrium so that he can push you into something else. Sometimes God bursts new things out of that which is chaotic. Their core sin is laziness, the need for constancy. 9s need control of another kind. They want everything to stay the same so that they can have emotional peace. So they avoid conflict, difficult pursuits, and attempted to be lazy and to accommodate others far too quickly. 9s will jump in and say, no, we don't have to have the conversation. It's not a big deal. No, you need to have this conversation. But 9s won't do it because of what is behind the fig leaf. See, the whole reason that the Enneagram is as powerful as it is not because it's just about, you getting to know your coworker. It's really about you being able to get behind the ways that we often hide and say, that's where that's coming from. And it is not so that God can point out and say, you're a 1, you're a 2, you're a 3. And it's not an exact science, because sometimes when you do the test, you'll see a couple different tendencies and a couple different numbers. But the whole point of it is to peel the layers of the onion so you can get to the core and say, okay, God, this is what it is. This is the thing that I need you to heal. This is the thing, my pride or my arrogance or my lust or my anger or my desire to always want to be in control. God, here it is. Or God, my level of being uncomfortable when things are in flux and you're changing stuff and I don't know where we're going. God is saying, give it all to me. Because he can't heal what you conceal. And I really hope that all of you have done this assessment. And if you haven't done the assessment, I pray they'll put the QR code back up, and I pray that you would do it. I pray that you would scan it. I pray it's free. The information is yours. I don't see the information. Nobody on our ministry team sees it. This is for you. To be able to say, God, here it is. To be like that man with the withered hand and to stretch it out so that God can really restore